This documentary is based on Analouge vs Digital, giving information on different aspects of them both. So as we all know, technology has become a big thing over the years and it's changed a lot, right from everything you use to everything you see. So do you think analog will be around within the next decade? Well, I've interviewed different age generations, wanting to know their opinion on how they think technology has changed and what they think of it now. And as we all know, there are many different directors and visual storytellers which have created moving images which range from analog and digital, both giving off different effects and feelings. The image quality and colour have changed so much over the years, along with the sound and how things are projected, which you can see from these few clips here. Okay, so here we have two film clips. The first one, Charlie Chaplin. It was shot on celluloid. You can see that it's very boring and it's black and white. There's not much happening. And as you see in the right hand corner, there's actually two guys cranking the camera. So this means that they were loading the film as it was going along. Whereas in the second one, Fast and Furious, there's a lot of action happening, it's colourful, it's upbeat, there's live stunts happening, but at the same time there was a lot to take in. And yes, they used digital, which meant there was a bigger hard drive and a lot more memory on there, which made it easier for them.
You can tell which decade the film was made in based on the quality of the CGI.
Fantasy Island films, which are all these rocket space science stuff, they're not reality yet, are they? They're all sort of just dream worlds.
Fast and Furious, well, they're ridiculous because you'd be dead.
Back in the 70s they had to do real stunts, they didn't have an option, and it looked better because it was real.
You know, I mean, years ago when they made a war film or a cowboy film or something like that, it seemed more realistic to what it is today, sort of thing.
As you can see, there's a guy walking around a deserted part of London. They wouldn't have been able to achieve this on film because they had to stop and hold up traffic quickly. Lucky enough, they had a cheaper set of cameras, so instead of just one or two, they could have 10. Imagine them using film, lots of different rolls and tapes. It would have cost them a fortune. So here we have the editing and developing process for celluloid. It's all constructed in a darkroom under a certain light. It's washed and put through different types of chemicals along with a developer, which clears off all the unwanted parts and begins to show the negative. You must only allow your celluloid to be in the developer for so long. Once it's developed, you take it out a container and give it a rinse under the water, getting rid of any of the leftover fix. Now you can hang them in a film cupboard to dry. Once they've dried, you can cut them into strips of 5 and place them into a plastic seal. This is where you were then able to use a light box to see any mistakes you had made.
Wait for your film to be developed in your camera anymore.
No.
So you see what you've taken.
So what about like the camera qualities? Did you like filming on like celluloid cameras and getting them developed and having that old style like Polaroid look?
No, because if you didn't, when you did them on them, you took your picture, hoped you got it, but you didn't know you got it until your film was developed and it was too late then.
Digital editing can be an easy process once you get going. Firstly, start off by transferring your clips to your computer. This is where you'll be able to view them and see if any mistakes you made and reshoot if you need to. Premiere Pro is what the majority of people use and allows you to select and splice any of your clips together and make any changes needed. The improvements of technology and software now allow you to add any effects and sounds that you wish to. Some of these effects can make your work look very professional, but it does take time. So think of how lucky we are now to have this form of software and technology, as decades ago they never had this opportunity.
Don't like something, you can just get rid of it.
You off and start again.
Yeah.
That's the difference in technology, isn't it? You can use the telephone now, can't you? Just take your pictures when you want.
It's been amazing, and I don't think any other generation will have the same degree of advancement that we've seen.
Well, film quality, sound quality, Blu-ray and whatever, we never had anything like that, did we? If you didn't see it at the cinema, you didn't see it at all.
Well, that's true.
Not until about 20 years later when it come on television.
If you want to see it on TV, you've always got on demand, Netflix, all sorts of stuff.
And then you get all the digital channels as well. Again, you only used to have like 3 channels, eventually went to 4 and then 5.
But now I sit there with an iPhone and an iPad and I'm
Like
doing all these things
Yeah, so most things are now like free range, aren't they? You just take it on a train.
Yeah, everything is just there at the fingertip.
Today TVs now, and they're all sort of usually HD TVs and things. So yeah, they've got most TVs these days have got all the mod cons and that on them. So
I'd like to know what cinemas used to be like years ago, how they were projected, the sound and picture quality, as of course everything has changed now. Projectionists back in the day had a lot more to work with and had to have the correct skills. The upsetting part to most of the projectionists' lives are losing their jobs because technology is taking over and replacing their skills.
I started when I was about 7 or 8, used to go Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And then next time I went to picture, I was 14. That was when I went with Grandad.
Very, very spotty, couldn't they, at times?
Yeah.
And they used to break.
Oh yeah.
You used to
They used
sit
to
there and
break.
all of a sudden you'd sit go flip, 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 flip.
And then you'd hear it in the projector room where the thing had split.
Used to have about three or four cinemas in Chelsea. It was all just single screen, just one film at one time, and then like kiddies film during the day and adults film in the evening.
1939, the war came along, so you didn't go to pictures then because there was no pictures. And then she started back up after the war ended.
They had to change the reels.
Oh yeah, if it was a long film, you used to have to change the reels.
That's right. So you'd get half the film and then it'd all just go black.
The sound would disappear. And
Yeah, sometimes the voice didn't go with the
Oh yes, sometimes the voice didn't go with the picture.
didn't go with the picture.
Expensive one as well, generally. Yeah, I enjoy it when we went. I mean, literally just to queue outside all the way around the corner of the cinema and hope you'd actually get in when they open the doors up.
And we used to get 2 films instead of 1. You only get 1 now, don't you?
Yeah.
You used to get 2.
Where
With an interval in between, and the little lady used to come down the aisle with her ice cream.
Yeah, because the graphics and things that you see now, and I think it enhances a lot.
If I go to a cinema now, there's so much going on the screen you can't get it all.
Yeah,
Yes.
some films.
yeah, because I think that we had a lot more films that were real,
Real
as
life.
in real life and real people.
Yeah, I would like to see more stunts being done properly.
I think you will do in time because the TV will take over, won't it?
I think probably there's a lot more goes into making films now, I suppose, or they make them look more realistic with the effects and that are used.
I mean, Bad Boys 2, there was only tiny sections of that film that was in CGI. The rest of it was all real. That car chase at the beginning, only 2-second snippets of that is in CGI. But the rest of it's so cool because it's real.
It seems to look, in some films, looks very false.
I don't think it'll completely fade away, as it's something that I know people would probably like to keep close to them as it reminds them of the past, but I think that digital has come a lot stronger and people will be using it a lot more.
Things like Watership Down, I mean that's years old, but that was not supposed to be a bunch of bunny rabbits, it was about society and the community.
Well, I hope there will be a place for them, but with technology of what's coming out with the different cameras and computers and one thing and another, I imagine we will lose it completely.
After gathering different resources and talking to different age generations, I've managed to find out what they think of analogue and digital. Some think digital can be breathtaking, magical and creative because of all the editing softwares and cameras that are being used today. But on the other hand, analogue was all original and true life. Older style films we see today seem boring and dull, but of course others have been brought up around both so they understand and have an opinion on both. I haven't had the proper experience of watching analogue films, but when I was younger I did watch videos and had to rewind them to re-watch them again. But other than that, I have grown up around strong source of technology. Of course I think it's incredible to have smartphones, laptops and TVs, along with other sources that keep the day-to-day life going. So yes, I do love having digital technology around me. Personally, I think analogue will fade completely out soon, which is a shame, but that's because there are a lot more things being created and developed. For example, soon as a new phone is released, so many people sell their phone they have and buy the new edition, and that's how analogue is being replaced by digital.